Hi everyone, my name is Mark Kwok and we are talking about my favorite things. My very first video that I did on this whole series of my favorite things, I did a Hario coffee dripper because I love coffee. I'm a huge fan of coffee. And today, I'm gonna take it to the next level here. We're gonna talk about what's called the Technivorm Moccamaster coffee maker. This is my main daily driver. This is the guy that makes me coffee pretty much every day, minus the weekends. So a lot of people know about this coffee maker because it's been around for quite some time, and it's a bit of a legend actually. It's a simple coffee maker, but it's been at the top of the heap for quite some time. I learned about this through my work actually. I work at a tech company and they had one of these as their main coffee machine. Looked funky, looked kind of vintage. I kind of liked that look and it just made great coffee. Let me tell you what's great about this. It's simple. There's not many frills and crazy temperature readings and all the different features that you might expect from a 2020 coffee maker, but that's what makes it so great. It just does one thing, and it does it really reliably, and it does it really well every single time. I prefer, especially in the mornings, just not to think about it. Press a button, done. Let's just get some coffee in the system. The second thing I love about this is the design. This design is from 1960, 1970, so it's been around for quite some time, but this kind of vintagey brushed aluminum look, I'm a fan of. I think it looks great in the kitchen. I wouldn't consider looks as like a top thing here. You want great coffee, that's what matters, but just one other pro. And lastly, I mean, the most important thing, it makes great coffee. It also does something around temperature that's supposed to be ideal. Now, I am not a scientist, so I'm not gonna tell you exactly what temperature it needs to be the perfect cup of coffee. But what I do know is that there's a couple standards out there in the European Union as well as in America, and the Technivorm Moccamaster passes all of those, and it's always considered kind of one of the key players in those standards. So if it's good enough for scientists out there that say, hey, this gets consistent results each time, it's good enough for me. I forgot to mention one other thing. This is a really great machine because everything happens really fast. You don't hear much of it as it's running, and I barely hear it. And then secondly, within I think about 5 minutes, you can get the entire 10 cups. So if you have less than that, let's say you only have 5 cups, it might only take 3 minutes or something like that. There are a couple cons to this as well though. The Technivorm Moccamaster actually comes in multiple shapes and sizes. The one I was using at the company before was actually one without a glass carafe. Instead, it was a stainless steel one. This glass carafe, now, I think it looks awesome. I think it's built sturdily, but it's glass, right? At the end of the day, it's still glass. So I've broken 2 of these already. I don't think that's a particular fault of Technivorm. It's glass and my stupidity. I think that's really what the problem is. I just recently bought this one. This is $35 for this carafe. So it's not cheap. I mean, $35 for one carafe is a pretty expensive thing. And if it breaks often, it's a lot of money that you're gonna end up spending. Now, I think that's really all the negatives. I really don't have much bad to say about this. So this is a $300 coffee machine. So it's not the most expensive out there, but it's certainly not cheap. I think it's worth it. The amount of times I use this, the type of coffee I get, the way it looks, the way it deals, the customer service. I had something happen to this coffee machine and it turns out it wasn't even really a problem, but they were so quick to replace parts. They were so quick to just accommodate me like crazy. So that is another positive for these guys. To me, coffee is so important. It's something that's part of my everyday routine that it's worth putting that extra dollar in. And for me, this one beats out most of the other ones. Now, I do know Bonavita and Breville make some good coffee machines as well. I'm sure they're fantastic. I've had coffee from both actually. But something keeps me coming back to the Moccamaster. The way it stood the test of time, the way it is so simple, and the way it just has been a great experience for me overall. I just don't want to leave the brand. Think about all the things when you're making coffee. You want it fast, you want it hot, you want it good, you want it, easy. It does that. Simple enough. That's why it's one of my favorite things. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Mark Kwok. I will see you on the next one.